So today's class will be continuing last week, was it? I mean Fridays, yeah. Fridays grammar. So previously we learned some particles and then verb types as well as the verb groups, which we have ichidan,
Oi.
godan, and the henkaku doshi, which is the irregulars. So today we'll be continuing the fourth grammar. So basically the fourth grammar is about the particle of ni.
Last Friday
The
at the
particle
class?
of
Yes.
ni.
Yes.
Yeah. You missed Laila.
I think it's my fault because I didn't remind in Discord. Apa Layla? I've made a promise to myself that each time I'm gonna remind in Discord as well. Because I tend to forget. No, Kaicho. Oh. What is it?
Nico.
I was nah, it's okay. Apa dia? I forgot to remind in Discord. It's okay. Nice one, Layla. I love the vibes. Nice.
No worries, Laila. The video is in YouTube channel.
Yeah, that 29
Nihon
subscribers,
culture.
you know that 29. I'm so happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
another one before
I was doing
30.
chores. Tak apa. That's much more important.
Okay. So yeah, the fourth grammar is about time reference. So basically, previously we learned the particle ni. So the particle ni have two meanings. One would be the goal of movement, which, for example, if you want to go somewhere, you have a goal of going to that place, so you use ni before the name of the place. So, for example, like watashi wa gakko ni ikimasen. I will not be going to the school, so you use the particle ni. Or another one would be watashi wa uchi. Uchi would be the place. Ni kaerimasu. I'll be going back to home, or I will return to home. So that is the first meaning, which is the goal of movement. Next one would be the time, which you use before the date or the time. So basically, this is a recap of what we learned this one. So ni is you can use after the words for like days. For example, like getsuyobi, nichiyobi とか suiyobi とか So you use ni before the dates. So for example, anyone wants to read this?
Jauh, tunggu lah. So
3 seconds
all
rules, I
right,
guess.
I will let loose. Nichiyobi ni ikimasu.
そう。日曜日に行きます。行きます。So 日曜日 is Sunday. And 行きます is the verb for to go. So in this one, they use 日曜日に行きます. So 日曜日 you can change it to other dates such as 月曜日とか水曜日. So you can use any days of the week for this one. So after the days of the week, you use ni. Another example would be for time. So you can also use ni for time. So after the time, you use ni and then you add a verb. So for example, this one, anyone wants to read?
Go for it.
Okay.
10時45分に起きます。
10時45分に起きます。So 10時45分. What time is it?
10:45.
Okay.
そう。10:45. So this is the time. And after the time, you also use ni. Then okimasu. Okimasu is to wake up. Okimasu. To wake up.
Oh. Okay.
So this one you use ni. Okay. Next one. Anyone wants to read?
Sure.
9月に帰ります。
そうそうそう。9月に帰ります。So not only like days or time, you can also use for like months at the front.
おい。
So 9月, what month is it?
9月 is
September.
おい。
September. Which is 9. 9月に then you use に and then 帰ります。帰ります is to go back home. To go home. Or back. 帰る。帰ります。So, but there are a few exceptions, even though I said that you can use for date and then time as well as month. There are a few exceptions where you do not use the particle ni. So the exception would be time expression defined relative to the present moment. So for example, like the words like ashita, asatte, or like another one would be expression describing regular intervals such as mai bam, mai asa. What is mai asa?
Every morning.
So. Mai asa とか mai asa or mai bam or also mai nichi, which is
Every day.
what is mai nichi? So every day. So for and then another one would be the word for when, which is itsu.
Oi.
So this one you do not use the particle ni. So instead of ashita ni kimasu, no, you just straight away ashita kimasu. So these are the exception. Ashita kimasu. Next one, anyone wants to read?
Mm.
どうぞ。
Okay. Can I read?
Yeah, どうぞ。
毎晩テレビを見ます。
そう。毎晩テレビを見ます。And then the last one?
いつ行きますか？
そう。いつ行きますか？ So 明日 means tomorrow. Tomorrow. 明日. And then you do not put ni, instead you straight away just say 来ます. Which is to come.
ほい。
So 明日来ます or maybe 明後日 or 来週来ます. You don't put ni. And then the next one would be 毎晩. 毎晩, which is every night. So words like every night or every day or every morning, you do not put ni. You do not use ni, so you straight away. 毎晩テレビ. Terebi is TV. を見ます. Which is to watch. So every night I watch TV. And then lastly would be the word when. It's when. So it's 行きますか? 行きますか? So ka is a question. So when are you going? いつ行きますか? So.
Does that mean that?
And then,
sorry. Does that mean that ni is used for describing with places and stuff?
So. I mean, not places, more to places, yes, also, which is like the goal of movement. And also time, but it's more to this kind of time, not the tomorrow or asate or raishu, that one. only this one is the what you call exception.
Okay.
So those kind of verb. But for like days or time or month, then you can use ni.
Okay.
And then also the same thing is like you also do not normally use ni when it comes to like the word like in the morning or at night or like weekend. However, you can use it. It's not that you cannot, it's just that it's normally not used, but it's not wrong if you use it actually. So for example, this one. Also, anyone wants to read it?
Well, maybe I'll.
Okay.
Okay. 朝に新聞を読みます。
そうそうそう。朝に新聞を読みます。朝に、はいや、新聞を読みます。朝 is morning.
おい、
に、新聞は新聞。
newspaper.
そうそうそう。newspaper. And then 読みます is to read. So you can use 朝に新聞を読みます or you can also just say 朝新聞を読みます。そうそう。And then the next one, anyone wants to read? じゃあ、会長どうぞ。
はい。週末に何をしますか？
そうそう。週末に何をしますか？
おい、
週末に何をしますか？
おい。
週末は週末。
うん。
週末は何ですか？
週末 is the end of the week.
そうそうそう。So meaning is basically weekend.
Mhm.
And then 何をしますか？ So 何 is just a question for what をしますか？します is doing. So what are you doing this weekend? So that is how you use に。So far any question? 質問ありますか？
問題ない。
大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫。
Then we will go for the next one. 何々ませんか？何々ませんか？ So 何々ませんか is usually used for like inviting someone to do something, usually to do something together. So first one, for example, we go for the example first. Anyone wants to read this? じゃあ、会長どうぞ。
昼ご飯を食べませんか？
そうそう、昼ご飯を食べませんか？昼ご飯を食べませんか？昼ご飯は昼ご飯。
lunch.
Lunch.
そうそうそうそう。lunch, because 昼 is afternoon.
Gohan means rice, right?
Yeah, ご飯 is rice or like you can also consider it as a meal.
Okay, heavy lah.
そうそうそうそう。It's a macam rice or meal lah, basically. And
Okay.
then 食べませんか？ So 食べませんか？ So 食べる is the word for to eat. But if you, 食べる or 食べます。But if you change it to ませんか? So basically you are inviting that person to do that thing together usually. So usually they would add the word 一緒に. Ishoni. Ishoni. So, which is together. It means together.
It's broken back then. I don't know.
So usually they would be like, 一緒に昼ご飯を食べませんか? And then the person will answer like, いいですね。いいですね。ちょっと。そう。一緒に。Or you can also be like, 一緒に映画を見に行きませんか? Would you want to watch the movie together with me?
一緒にどう?
一緒に何?そうそう。一緒に。一緒にどう is also correct, sorry. 一緒にどう do is like, it's like, how about it, you know? そう。どう一緒にどう Well, usually you say that after the person knows what the context is. そう。一緒にどうそう。And then the person will answer, いいですね。Or another one would be, anyone wants to read that?
Oh, it's testing my katana abilities. Katakana.
テニスをしませんか?
Wow, orca.
Yeah. そう。
Wow.
テ
From
ニ
now
ス
on, really.
をテニスはしませんか? そう。
I'm proud.
テニスはしませんか? So tennis is of course tennis. をしませんか? So it comes from the word します which is to do. And then if you change it to ませんかしませんか? So basically you're inviting that person to do that activity which is tennis in this one. ライダーってオルカがすごい。そう。And then the person answered, ちょっと。So this is an expression of basically declining the invitation. So, ちょっと, you know, usually they would be like a bit panjang sikit hujung tu. ちょっと. So if you feel like, you know, you cannot go or join that the activity, so you basically just say that this one. Because saying いえ、行きません well, ちょっと is a bit like direct, so it can
Total
sound
annihilation for chances.
so it can sound like a bit rude if you directly say no. So that's why they say ちょっと you know, ちょっ
Panjang.
と そう。ちょっと kalau dia panjang tu it sounds a bit soft lah, you know, it doesn't sound as
Feels like you
macam
think dia macam fikir ke?
macam dia tak rasa macam rude sangat lah, you know, it doesn't feel very macam directly declining that person. So
Okay.
so that is nani masen ka. So any question so far? 質問ありますか?
質問いない。
大丈夫ですか?
はい、大丈夫です。
Okay. So the next one would be word order. So basically it's just how you arrange the word, the sentence basically. So this one I guess we'll learn as we go through the chapters later on. Basically, usually in Japanese, they will start with the topic first. And then in the middle is quite flexible. It's quite flexible where you want to put it the sequence, but they always also end with a verb. So usually they start with a topic and then they end with a verb. But of course, you have to be careful with the particles that you use in the middle and depending on the word itself. So this one you also have to be careful and then usually know which particle to use if you refer to the new vocabulary page.
The one we be careful thing is hard. Not gonna
Yeah. So. The particle is a bit hard because you have to remember which particle to use and you know sometimes you can also change instead of a you can go ni, you know. So I guess this one is more to reading practice. So anyone wants to read this?
Oh, this will be nice for me. じゃあ
I can try. Oh,
私
wow.
は今日図書館で日本語を Benkyo shimasu.
そうそうそう。私は、今日、図書館で、図書館で日本語を勉強します。So 私は今日 is today. Today. 図書館 is library. 日本語 is Japanese. 勉強します is to study.
Oi.
And the next one, maybe Shazrin can read. どうぞ。
Dozo.
Okay, I'll try. 私はよく、7時頃家へ帰ります。
そうそう。But this one usually they use 7 actually.
Oh, actually, 7時. Okay,
そう
good
そうそう
point.
そうそう。7時頃家へ帰ります。そうそうそう。そう、私はよく7時頃家へ帰ります。そうそう。So, よく is like frequently. It means frequently.
Yoku.
7時 is 7 o'clock.
Goro.
Goro means about or around.
私はよく7時頃に家に帰ります。
7時頃家へ帰ります。
Right.
7そうそう。家 is home. And then 帰ります is to go back.
Okay.
そうそうそう。So for the word order, I guess it's better if we will learn as we go through the chapter, so on later. So next one is frequency adverb. So basically, frequency adverb is just adverbs to show how frequent you do the activity or how not as frequent you do the activity. So you can add frequency adverbs such as 毎日 or よく or 時々, you know? 時々. So in this chapter, we learn 毎日, which is every day. I mean, you have the
素敵な朝。
毎日 every day. This one is よく, which is often or frequently. And then 時々, sometimes. 時々. So the difference between よく and 時々 is that the yoku, the amount or the percentage of you doing the activity is higher actually compared to tokidoki. Tokidoki is lower because tokidoki is like sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't do it. But
Always.
yoku is like
Always.
most of so yoku is like it's not like always, but it's like it's a lot. You know, you do it frequently. That kind of meaning.
Often.
So often. So often. So for example, どうぞ anyone.
Sorry, I'll take this one.
Okay,
Okay.
Ian, どうぞ。
私は時々喫茶店に行きます。
そうそうそう。
Mm.
私は時々喫茶店に行きます。私は時々に時々ちょっと待って時々喫茶店に行きます。そうそう。So 時々 I sometimes
So,
喫茶店。
so like sometimes toki-doki. In every like macam dia tak kisah situation lah.
Maksud apa?
like in case contoh sometimes tu dia letak belakang instead of the pin dia tak boleh tukar lah.
Dia tak faham.
Tak apa.
Macam mana? Cakap Orca macam mana?
No, never mind.
Okay, tak apa. Nanti if you want to ask, you can also ask during after class juga nanti.
Alright.
Alright. So Kisaten. Kisaten is actually cafe in Japanese. So but you can also just say cafe. Actually, cafe. And then ni ikimasu. Ikimasu is to go. So I sometimes go to the cafe. Or it's like in this case it's coffee shop. Kisaten. And we also have adverbs to show how like not as frequent as you do it, or you can call it infrequent of an activity. So such as zen or amari. So, zen or amari. So the difference between zen and amari is amari. So zen is 100% you do not do it. But amari is more like 50% you don't do it. And both of this word must end with the verb of negative form. Verb but negative.
Masen.
So masen. Nani masen.
Oi.
So for example, anyone wants to read it? Maybe Kaicha.
I'll read the second one.
Okay, then Kaicha.
私は全然テレビを見ません。
私は全然テレビを見ません。
Mimasen, right?
見ません。
Mimasen, okay. 私は全然テレビ見ません。
So 私は全然テレビを見ません。So 全然 is like not at all, you know. So not at all. Then テレビ of course TV. And then 見ません. It is the negative form of 見ます, which is to watch. But in this case, it's negative, so do not watch. So it means I do not watch TV at all. So then the second one, Ian.
ゴーストさんはあまり勉強しません。
Ghost-san. Okay. Okay. It's Takeshi, but yeah, Ian calls him Ghost-san. So this one is Takeshi-san wa amari benkyou shimasen.
Patutlah asyik go seorang lah. Study pun tak sangat.
Marah benar je.
Marahlah dia go seorang.
Ghost san.
Takeshi-san wa amari benkyou shimasen. So amari is like he still studies, but he just don't study as frequent lah. It means like that. So 勉強する or 勉強しません. 勉強 is to study.
Oi.
But in this one is he doesn't study lah. しません the negative form. So that is how you use the frequency adverbs. There's a lot more frequency adverbs, but I guess we'll learn as we go to the new chapter. Any question for this one? 大丈夫ですか?
Hang on, I need to think.
Okay.
What would Ian okay lihat
I couldn't hear what Rin said just now. What was it, Rin?
No, it's not Rin.
Oh, who?
It's actually Nico.
Oh, Nico. I thought it was Rin.
That's
I
not me.
Wait, you had
Yeah, it's Rin. Right.
you had a question,
Rin
Shazrin?
is Rin is female.
You had a
don't know who.
question, Shazrin?
I think Shazrin kot.
Shazrin?
Oh yeah, I said something. I
Okay.
said something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I said something.
Oh, were you asking a question or?
Actually, I was trying to think of something to ask. I have not found any.
I see. No worries. There's after class. You can ask later. Okay.
Sure.
So we'll go for the next one, which will be the last grammar for today, which is the topic particle wa. Oh, wa. So for the previous chapter, we learned the particle wa is as like x wa, y this, x wa, y this. So this one means x is y, basically.
X
It means
algebra
that.
terus pakai.
Fine. I use the alphabet. X is Y. So basically, it means this. It means this. But for this one, it's basically saying that usually what it refers to the topic or the subject X, which is me, she. We call it subject. So for example, like Mary-san wa ninensei desu. So the subject is Mary-san. Is the subject, and the ninensei means second year student. Or another one, the example would be watashi no senko wa nihongo desu. So the subject is watashi no senko. Watashi no senko. But you can also paraphrase the word actually. So meaning that usually, for example, this one I guess. So we read it first. Anyone wants to read it? Maybe Shazrin?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay. メアリーさん、週末は大抵何をしますか？
そう。ミャリーさん、週末は大抵何をしますか？ So, Mary さん、週末 weekend. This one is Mary, but Mary さん。週末は大抵何をしますか？ So the thing is, you can actually paraphrase it into another way, which is Mary さんは週末大抵何をしますか? But instead, they kind of paraphrase it into this pattern. So instead of focusing on the word Mary-san, they focus on the weekend, basically.
Oh,
So. They focus on the weekend. So it means that Mary,
Right.
what do you usually do on the weekend? So. Or maybe next one? And anyone wants to read it?
I got it.
Okay, tapi. Okay.
今日は京都に行きます。
そう。今日は京都に行きます。そう。京都, of course, it means Kyoto, this one. And the 行きます to go. So basically, these two examples above is kind of paraphrasing like, let's talk about weekends, or let's talk about what I will be doing today instead of focusing about me. So they paraphrase it. That is the use of the wa. It's a bit difficult to actually understand this, but I guess it's more to like you need to see a lot of more other examples as we go on to the chapter. Then you can see the pattern actually. So basically this one, instead of focusing on Marisa, so it's more to like, let's talk about the weekend. 週末は大抵何をしますか? 大抵 is like usually. Usually 大抵. Usually what do you do on weekends? So. And it can also like be used to like grab the person's attention and or like macam asking for like comment or a completion of a sentence. So for example, like usually they have a longer sentence. For example, this one is just bango hawa, but usually they will ask like, Nyari-san, bango hawa tabemasu ka? Is that long sentence. But usually when it comes to conversation, they would make it as shorter. So they would just focus on dinner. So basically, usually it depends on the context. If that person is like saying that I'll be going out today, and then you just say bango hawa, usually they will understand that you are asking, will you be eating dinner or not? So
So you focus on that two topic.
so you just focus on dinner bango hawa. So basically this one you use to ask for like, you know, like a comment about that thing lah, usually. Bango hawa, so they reply tabemasen because they already know what that person is asking. What about dinner? So for example, like you're saying, it can be other examples such as I'm telling you guys that I'll be going out to watch a movie, and then my friend would be like, Shukudai wa? Shukudai is homework. So why do you think I'm like that person is asking Shukudai wa?
Shimasen ka?
So. Or like Shukudai wa shimashita ka? So. Did you do your homework? You know? So it's kind of that kind of meaning. I guess one day we'll do a conversation practice now. So yes.
Tanya pasal homework, always
Speaking
remember to
of
say
practice, I
yes.
think I have a sentence that I thought about right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have a sentence that I have thought about.
Okay.
So I would be like, chotto anon, eiga o miru tsumori desu ka? And then the other guy was like, yeah, eiga o miru hima wa nai. So basically, that's what my example sentence.
It's actually correct. So, 映画を見るつもり、映画を見るつもりです。You said that, right?
Yes.
映画を見るつもりです。Yeah, it's actually correct. So. And then, yeah. And then what you say was it?
Yeah, 映画を見る暇はない。
So. That is actually correct. 映画を見る暇はない。So. That is actually correct. Your sentence. So yes. Oh, did the life ended?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all because of Takeshi though.
Sumori.
What?
Ghost
Ghost or
Okay.
You first ghosted Mary, now you want to ghost us, is it? What the hell? I know you're here with us.
So yeah, that is the topic particle war. It's a bit hard, but I guess we'll see the pattern as we learn more example later. So last one would be hyogen noto. Hyogen noto. So hyogen noto, the first one would be iku or kuru. So the difference between iku and kuru is like iku is to go, and then kuru is to come. So for example, how do you say it? So for example, the first one would be watashi wa ikimasu. Watashi wa ikimasu. So basically, iku is to go. So it is from the view of the person who is speaking that is going there. Meaning, I will go there. That kind of meaning, iku. But another one, kuru, is like when you are asking if that person is coming here, you know? ここに来るの? ここに来ますか? So that is the difference actually. So do you see the difference though?
Yes.
大丈夫ですか?
大丈夫.
Okay. So that is the difference between iku and kuru. And then last one would be when you want to decline, which is chotto. So the literal meaning of choto is little, which is choto, choto sukunai, or it's a bit, macam orang kata sikit, a little, choto. But another meaning would be like, how do you say it? When you want to decline an invitation.
Koreo chotto.
So for example, someone is asking, 一緒に映画を見ませんか? Then maybe you are busy or you don't want to watch a movie that day, so you'll be like, 今日はちょっと, you know? 今日はちょっと. You have to make it a bit longer, you know? ちょっと. So, ちょっと. Another meaning would be you can use as ちょっと待ってください. So it means please wait for a moment. So ちょっと待ってください.
ちょっと待ってください.
ちょっとちょっと。
ちょっと wait for a bit. So yes. So the reason why they use choto for declining is because saying yeah, no, is a bit too direct and it can sound a bit rude actually. So that's why you use choto. So remember to use choto, guys. So for example, anyone wants to read this one?
I'll take A.
Anyone wants
Kaicho?
to take B? Kaicho B.
Okay.
Yeah, that Otai buat. Otai.
Otai.
Okay. Doyobi ni eiga o mimasen ka?
そう
土曜日はちょっと。
そう。土曜日はちょっと、you know? So
How
土曜
dare
日
you decline my invitation?
土曜日映画 which is movie 見ませんか? Will you watch a movie with me this Saturday? And 土曜日 is a bit, ちょっと it's not convenient or like it's either not convenient or I do not want to go. So that's it for this chapter. ちょっと待ってください。
No, no, that.
ありがとう thanks.
ちょっと待ってください。
Konnichiwa, what's up?
So that's it for chapter 3 actually. So tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Yeah. Tomorrow we'll go for chapter 4.
Oh no!
No, no, I hate the first thing. I hate
Well,
the
I
first
can't relate.
Uh,
I think most of us can't relate.
No, I hate that.
Chapter 4, and then on Friday we'll start kanji.
Oh, I hate chapter 4.
So that's it.
sad.
As usual,
Yay, I'll take the challenge.
Konnichiwa, what's up?
So yes,
Wait,
that's
honestly,
it
tak boleh
for
konnichiwa, what's up? Dah
today.
kena kombang, what's up?
Konbanwa.
Konbanwa, what's up?
Like
Yamamoto
enthusiasm
Chika.
has written.
Meeting dekat malam sini. Kombang, what's up?
That's it for today. As usual,
Ian.
I'll be here for any question.
Ian. Yamamoto Chika.
Oh, janganlah, please lah. Oh, Yasumi, good night.
Actually, okay, I'd like to have the whole PDF because